As you're about to find out, I'm going to have a new editing style, so I hope you like it. And please subscribe. I mean, I don't really have much more to say than that than to subscribe, so let's get to the video. Today's video is going to be about Light Yagami. Now, before I get too deep into Light Yagami, Death Note itself is not really written like most, manga, anime, whatever you want to call it. It's not written the same, because the main character is the villain. I mean, it's always just about perspective, but you can pretty much say that Light Yagami is the villain. I mean, he's not... But the one thing I will say, for the most part, he did kill mainly terrible people, but at the same time, anyone that stood in his way would also die. And see, that's where he becomes a villain, because that means he's willing to kill anyone that gets in his way. And I mean, you can go in the comments now and say he was right, wrong, whatever. I don't care. That's not what this video is about, alright? This video is about how crazy this man is. Like, he starts off as like an average teenager. Like, he's not too different from like other teens. And then just, he finds the Death Note. And, I mean, obviously, if you had the power to kill anyone you wanted, you definitely would change. I mean, you're not going to stay the same, especially if you use it. I understand that. But bro just completely flips the switch and starts doing all kinds of heinous things. Like, alright, it's one thing to kill a bunch of criminals that have done terrible things, which is, I mean, some people even still say that that's wrong. But even saying that, let's just... hypothetically, let's just say that, killing a bunch of murderers and all these people that commit all these crimes is okay. Let's just say that, alright? And that's okay, right? But he doesn't stop there. Anytime anybody gets close to figuring out that he is Kira, he just offs them, in any way possible. I mean, not any way possible. It's via the Death Note, obviously. But it doesn't matter who you are, because at some point, to prove his innocence, he kills his own dad just to make it look like he isn't Kira. And it works. It works. Alright? And that even leads to him killing L. And there should have been a spoiler alert. So, I mean, if you still got spoiled, I mean, you're definitely new to watching anime, because if you wasn't, you would know that anytime you watch any anime, you have to stay off the internet for at least a solid 2 years. Or however long it takes you to finish that anime, because if you go back on the internet, that's the first thing you're going to see in your feed. Trust me, everyone learns the hard way. It's not just you in particular, alright? We all go through that. Now, another thing that needs to be talked about is how much Riz Light had. And I'm not trying to be corny or trying to do what everyone else is doing, but like, he had Riz. Like, he walked into a room and all the girls went crazy. That's what happened. And the fact that he pulled the girl that had a Shinigami as well, that was completely in love with him, and would do anything. Like, his plan couldn't have been more perfect. Like, well, could have been more perfect, because, I mean, he kind of did lose at the end. But we're not talking about that right now. He also, he pulled another girl and was manipulating her as well. Like, bro, where are you getting all this Riz from? Share it with the fan base. And when I say fan base, I mean me. But anyway, this man had stats maxed out. Like, bro could do anything. Like, he was smart, good looking, good with girls. Like, bro had everything. Like, there wasn't anything he really couldn't do. Except, win at the very end of his own show, and he's the main character. Like, how you lose being the main character? See, couldn't be Goku. That's why Goku's better, And also, a side rant. I've actually seen people say that Light can beat Goku, but you want to know something funny? If you read the Death Note's instructions, it only works on humans. Like, it won't work on animals, it won't work on a tree. It only works on humans. And guess what? Goku's not a human. So, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I just heard it online and I just wanted to say that. But moving on, there was one moment in this show that I will always remember forever, because its visual was amazing and the way that they played it was chef's kiss, even though there was no food. That was funny. You're supposed to laugh, even though it wasn't funny. But anyways, I think her name was Naomi. But either way, he knows that she is going to figure out that he is Kira, and it's only a matter of time. So he ends up making her, since she is I think she was a FBI agent or something like that. But either way, she was very good at what she does, and he knew that he had to do a very good job at killing her. So what he did is he controlled her to where she would go to her own house, or go wherever, delete herself, and then hide, or like find a way to hide and make sure that like her body can't be found. Like, that is crazy. Like, he makes her off herself and then make sure that no one is going to be able to find her. That is crazy. The power of the Death Note sometimes is very, very underrated. But either way, the visual was the best, combined with the music. I wish I could show it, but I'll get copyrighted, but this is the best you're going to get. And it was just, I really wish I could show y'all, but it was such an amazing scene. It like, the way my heart was beating was not healthy at that moment. Not because I was scared or any specific emotion. I was just like, whoa, this is powerful. This is good. Like, that's when I realized that Death Note was peak. And I don't care what anyone says, Death Note is an amazing, amazing anime. And I loved every second of it. And once it got to that point, I knew right then and there that this show was just crazy in a good way. Like, that visual right there of like her walking away and then like slowly showing that was very, very well done. And to be honest, I don't think there's going to be any moment in any anime that is going to top how I felt in that moment. I could be wrong, and I think I am, but I think that was the first like actual, innocent life that he took. I could be wrong, but I think it was at least one of the first. But I'm pretty sure that was the first. And if it wasn't, it was the first one that they wanted you to feel bad for, because they done a good job. I was genuinely like, oh my gosh, did he just do that? And then afterwards, I was like, I've got two ways to go with this. I either start hating this character or loving it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go with loving this character. This character's amazing. And the next thing is, I truly do think that they should have let him win. I don't understand why. I mean, I know that they wanted it to be like a happy ending. I understand that. But at the same point, since when has Death Note had to be good and nice? Like, at first, when people first thought it ended, and I think it was a certain episode to where, at that point, after that episode, Light pretty much won. And that's, to me, where they should have left it. And even if you want to just talk about Nier more, you could have just had Light beat Nier. Like, and also, it kind of did feel rushed and weird seeing Light lose like that. The only thing I will say, though, I do like seeing Light in that position. And the fact to where he's realized he's messed up and he's like a cornered animal trying to figure out how to find a way back out. That was kind of cool to see. I mean, I didn't like it as much as I liked it when he was, confident and winning. But it was still kind of cool to watch him kind of crazy out. I don't know if that makes sense, but, I mean, I hope you know. I don't know. I mean, the one thing you can always say about Light is he was so fun to watch. Like, he was the first main character I'd ever watched, for one. Second, he was the first manipulator I ever watched. And he was also the first time I had liked watching a character that was evil. Because usually, I'm not saying I've never liked villains before, I have. But never to this extent. Like, to me, he is definitely one of my favorite main characters. Like, he is just very fun to watch, especially because the way that the anime kind of is. He's like constantly internally thinking. I don't hate that, but I like how there's like problem solving and there's actual thoughts that aren't just like, it's too strong, things like that. It's actually like, what am I going to do next? Although it does get annoying sometimes, I will admit, it really does. But that aside, it was an amazing anime. I definitely do recommend watching this, especially if you like manipulators and you haven't, and you haven't seen Death Note. But yeah, you should definitely go ahead and watch that. Well, either way, I hope you've enjoyed. I know this is a completely different editing style than what you're used to from me, but in my opinion, this is a humongous upgrade. And, I want to keep on trying more and getting better at YouTube, as I should. And I hope you enjoyed. And, you see those numbers right there. Make sure to subscribe, all right? I mean, if you don't want to, fine, but you're just not going to get a cookie in the mail. You heard me. If you subscribe, you get a cookie in the mail. Anyways, see you next time. Yee.